Good afternoon, class. This is Mr. Schmidt checking in with you again. We're moving into lesson 2 of chapter 11, looking at cell division as a process. Yesterday, or the last time we met, we talked about sizes of cells and why cells have to stay small. Today we're going to take a look at how cells go through cell division. In the diagram here, you can see there's a couple of different cell pieces. Hopefully my mouse is picking these up. Scoot back one. You can see these cells are going through different processes or steps of that cell division process. Some have their chromosomes lined up. Some of them you can see the nucleus. Some of them you cannot see the nucleus. Some of them are actively pulling apart. Some are developing cell walls, cell membranes. This is a plant cell. So you can see all these different things happening, and we're going to talk about what that actually means and why we have to pay attention to the different stages and steps of cell division. So as we're looking into this, these different objectives, the cell cycle, this is how cells go through their process of reproduction. So you can think of some ways that we reproduce or we make copies of things, or duplicates or replicas or replicating or making pairs. These are some of the key words that we'll talk about here as far as when we talk about making cells or watching cells go through their division. Some of the circumstances necessary for cell division include growth and development. So as people grow, you're obviously bigger than you were when you were a baby. And in that process of going from being a little 7-pound baby to being whatever you are now, your body had to go through some changes and your cells had to go through some divisions. So we're going to take a look at that as well. First things first, cells store genetic information. And that genetic information is stored in a little piece of coding called DNA, and we'll discuss DNA more in a future lesson. But DNA is what holds the genetic information needed for organisms to survive. In a prokaryote, you can see the DNA in a prokaryote is a single circular chromosome. So some of our vocabulary terms here, chromosome is one. You can see this chromosome, it's a single loop of genetic information, and that genetic information is available for the chromosomes or for the prokaryote to use as it develops out and grows and goes through its own reproductive processes. Digging deeper into DNA, eukaryotic cells have DNA as well. The DNA in eukaryotic cells is packaged into what we call chromosomes. So chromosomes start with a double helix of DNA. That double helix of DNA is then wrapped around these special proteins. They're called histones. So a histone is a special protein that holds the DNA, coils it up. When we have a couple of strands of DNA or a strand of DNA coiled around some histones, we call that a nucleosome. The nucleosome functions to, again, organize and hold the DNA in place. It's kind of like packing your luggage when you're going to go on a trip. You're going to get the most material into your suitcase if you take time and package it well. So that's what the DNA is doing. Then those histones, which are forming nucleosomes, will also coil and bind and kind of coil around each other. Those coils will coil again, forming what's called a supercoil. If you look at the front of the room, you can see the handset of the phone up there has this coil to it. That coiling handset is sort of reminiscent or looks a little bit like what happens here with our DNA as it wraps around. Then those wrapped around supercoils are going to bundle together and form a chromosome chromatid. So you can see the sister chromatids, there's two of them. Those two sister chromatids are held together with a centromere, and in this particular instance we have what are called duplicated chromosomes. Everything that's on the left side of the centromere is a duplicate of the stuff that's on the right side of the centromere. Organization and packaging within chromosomes, specifically in eukaryotes, is really, really important when we're talking about cell division and taking genetic information, aka the codes, the instructions for the genes, and moving them from one cell to the new cells. When we make a duplicate, we're going to be making some new cells. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. In a prokaryotic cell, as I mentioned, these guys only really have one nice ring or coil of a chromosome, and they're just going to go through their process. They're going to make a duplicate of that particular coil of chromosome, and then the cell is going to grow a little bigger. It's going to split, and you're going to wind up with two new cells. Now, these duplicate cells are going to be identical to the original cell, so they are genetically identical. They have the same genetic information, and in simple reproduction in prokaryotic cells, this method is super quick and does not take a lot of energy to do. We call this form of reproduction asexual reproduction. Binary fission is a form of asexual reproduction. And this simple diagram shows you that, in essence, we're taking one cell and we're making two cells, neither of which is the original cell, but instead each one has a duplicate of the chromosomes from the original cell and some of the leftover cytoplasm and other cell materials from that original cell as well. Eukaryotic reproduction is a little more complex. And again, take time to pause if you need to, rewatch parts if you need to. In eukaryotic cells have what's called a cell cycle. And that cell cycle is, kind of like the word sounds, a cycle. It's going to go round and round. And we're going to look at each of these different parts of the cycle. So first off, cells spend a lot of their time in interphase. And interphase is this outer kind of light tan colored ring. And you can see it takes up probably 85 to 90% of the cell's life cycle. If you think about one rotation on this as the life cycle of a cell, the vast majority of that life cycle is made of interphase. Interphase is made of three subgroups or subphases. G1 phase, this is where the cell is going through growth. The S phase, this is a special phase in which the DNA is being duplicated. S stands for synthesis. We're synthesizing DNA. And then the G2 phase. In G2, there's a little more cell growth happening, and the cell is getting ready for mitosis. Mitosis is the one that we're going to look at in greater detail. That's where we have those 4 different steps, and we kind of look at those steps. So moving into that mitotic phase or mitosis, you can see here cell division occurs during the mitotic phase or mitosis. You're going to hear me throw those words around interchangeably. The M phase. During the M phase, the cell has gone through its growth. It's developed. It has made copies of things it needs, like Golgi apparatus, vesicles, lysosomes. It has all these things duplicated and ready. And now we have to do kind of the most important part. We have to split the nucleus, copy the genetic information inside and split the nucleus, and then we have to divide the cell apart to become a brand new cell. And so looking at how that process works and what happens is kind of the next piece. All right, let's dig into the M phase. In mitosis, or the M phase, we start with prophase. Prophase is a time in which the nucleus condenses and chromosomes are going to become visible. The visibility of the chromosomes shows us that they're getting ready to go. It's kind of like packing your suitcase. So these chromosomes are getting packed up like a suitcase, ready for a trip. We also have the formation of spindles. Spindles are beginning to form. Those spindle fibers are going to help to move pieces. They're kind of like tug-of-war ropes. They're going to attach and then pull parts to different ends of the cell. Now you might be wondering, well, when did we get copies? Copies happened back in S phase. So back in S phase, during interphase, we made copies of the DNA, and so now we have those copies ready to be split, because the end goal here is to have two brand new cells that have duplicate copies of the original cell's genetic information. So these two, this yellow on the left side of the centromere and yellow on the right side, each of those is a sister chromatid, and the sister chromatids are duplicates of each other. So in this example here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chromosomes that we're taking a look at. Normally, in like a human body, you'd have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We'll get to that a little bit later. All right, that's it for prophase. On to the next step, which is metaphase. Metaphase, I like to think of the letter M in meta and the letter M in the word middle. So in metaphase, the chromosomes are lining up in the middle of the cell. Notice that they're making kind of a line here through the center. They're getting positioned to move apart. Sort of like a dance. There might be some certain moves that you do in a dance, like if you were at homecoming or at snowball, you might have had different dances like line dances. The chromosomes do something like that. They're lining up here in the center of the cell, preparing themselves to split. So I'm going to scoop back a slide. Prophase, we're getting ready to divide. Metaphase, we're lining up in the middle. After they line up in the middle, we have to get things in position. So centrioles are helping to move materials. They're anchor points holding on to these spindle fibers that are going to attach to the middle part, the centromere of each chromosome. That middle part is eventually going to be pulled on to allow them to separate. So metaphase, middle, getting ready to divide. Moving on to the next step, which is anaphase. In anaphase, each of the sister chromatids, these individual chromosome, aka chromatid, is going to be pulled to the opposite end. And the goal here is to separate them as far from their partner as you can so that when we rebuild a membrane between the two, one cell will have the genetic information necessary to survive, and the other cell will also have the genetic information necessary to survive. So in anaphase, I like to think of, just like with metaphase in the letter M, I like to think of anaphase in the letter A moving away. So in anaphase, the chromosomes are moving away from each other, allowing space between, and eventually going to finish off becoming each of their own individual nuclei. After anaphase, we're moving into telophase. You might hear me say it telophase or telophase, depends on which pronunciation you're going to use. In telophase, it's kind of the reverse of prophase. So now we're done dividing, and now we can reform a nucleus. And in prophase, we were getting our chromosomes ready to divide. Here, we're actually going to unravel them so they're ready to be used again. The chromosomes, while they're hanging out inside the nucleus of a functioning cell, are kind of like a big pot of spaghetti. They're all over the place. So that as they are needed for instructions for making new cell parts, they can be easily accessed. So you can see here the nuclear membrane, nuclear envelope is going to reform, and that's what happens in telophase. After telophase, we need to finish splitting these two cells apart, so we enter what's called cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is technically not part of the M phase or mitosis. It is its own phase that happens at the end. But cytokinesis is super important. It's why we're doing this process in the first place. We want to split. We want to get a great big cell to become two smaller size cells so that we can continue to survive. And cytokinesis, the animal cell, the cell membrane pinches in the center to form two daughter cells. In plant cells, it's slightly different. A cell plate will form. It's kind of like the beginning of a cell wall, and then the cell wall will form in between as well, just to give them that cell wall shape again that plant cells have, kind of that blocky shape. So that is, in a nutshell, the entire process of cell division. Quick overview or review of the mitotic phase or mitosis. First off, again, list and describe the phases. We have interphase. Interphase is the vast majority. In this diagram, it's a very small arrow, but in the real processing, it's like 85 to 90% of the cell life is during interphase. It's doing its job. It's making stuff. It's doing whatever it has to do, whatever its job might be. Then once we hit this process of mitosis, we start with prophase. Prophase is getting ready to divide. The nuclear membrane is starting to break down. Spindle fibers are starting to form. Centromeres are getting ready to anchor. Metaphase, this is where they're lining up in the middle. They're preparing themselves to be pulled, to be pulled apart. Anaphase, this is where they move away from each other, so they're getting pulled to opposite ends of the cell. And then telophase or telophase, this is where the nuclear membrane is beginning to reform, and we are winding up with two new cells that each have copies of the original DNA. Finally, finishing off with cytokinesis, the splitting of the cell into two fresh cells. Animal cell cytokinesis, you're just going to pinch off here and wind up with two fresh cells. In plant cells, a cell plate will form between, and then that'll pinch off eventually, forming two new plant cells. So the chromosomes of these two daughter cells, they are going to be genetically identical. So the DNA that's found in this one cell is going to be genetically identical to the DNA found in another. This is what happens, mitosis, when your cells are working to reproduce themselves, to make copies of themselves. If you cut your finger is going to heal through this process. There's a lot of different changes that could happen. We'll talk about those during our discussion on mutations and genetic adjustment. But this example is asexual reproduction within a cell. And we have a couple lesson review questions. Take some time to answer those on the homework, and that homework will be due midnight tonight. So really glad you guys were able to lock in here and watch this presentation. Rewatch any parts you might need to catch up with what we're discussing. But this is a quick overview of cell division and the mitotic process.